Uprooted Theatrical Studios presents.
It's 10 Tips Tuesday.
All right. Hey, everyone. I hope you are doing well and still staying safe out there. Today, we are sharing with you guys 10 tips on how to land an apprenticeship. This was something that was requested, and we are so excited to share this information with you. We are getting tips from several different people on their experiences on how they landed their internship. So we're hoping this information is helpful for you guys. So, tip number one that I have, so I landed my apprenticeship in April 2019. I graduated from Belmont University in 2019, and during that time I was looking for I was searching crazy for apprenticeships, and I landed one at 80 Players at the George Theater. I don't know if you can see my shirt, but I'm wearing it now. We love free swag. I think that's the word. So here we go. Tip number one. So when I decided that I was going to try to get an apprenticeship, I sat down and I just started doing a bunch of research. And that's what I would encourage you all to do. Make a list of things that you want out of an apprenticeship and start looking for those theaters that offer it. I knew that I wanted an apprenticeship that would offer me free housing because housing is expensive. So I was hoping I could find a theater that would pay for my housing. Another thing I really wanted was the experience to get main stage experience. So I actually got to be in a main stage performance with the theater company, and I also got to understudy another show for the company. So those were awesome experiences. I also looked for theater companies that offer EMC points. If you don't know what EMC points are, that is equity membership candidacy points. And you have to get a certain, once you earn a certain amount of EMC points, it means you can go equity. So that's just one of the ways you can go equity. But that was something I really wanted. And then I also looked for places that were going to continue my training. So I was able to take classes with different actors and people in the industry in that area. So that was awesome. So I tell you, sit down, make a list of the things that you want. The second tip I have for you guys is prepping your material. So when you are prepping your material, go to the theater company and see what they are asking from you. Make sure you have everything, whether that's you need letters of recommendation, your resume, your headshot, audition video. Make sure you have it all, because a lot of times if you don't have everything, the theater company won't even look at you. So make sure you have all the material in place. I would also recommend doing your research on the company. So when you're prepping the audition material, see what kind of material the theater company does, what kind of plays or musicals do they put on, and gear that to the material you use in your audition. So that's something I really highly encourage. And then tip number 3, I would say, is have confidence and be patient. Sometimes you're not going to hear anything back for a little bit from theater companies. I submitted for 80 Players, I think in early March, and I didn't hear back from them until the end of March. So be patient and just have confidence in your material. So hopefully those tips help you. We have more information to give to you guys, but stay tuned and we will share with you. Bye.
Hi you guys, my name is Reilly O'Connell and I'm super excited to be helping out with this week's 10 Tips Tuesday. Today I'm going to be giving my top 2 tips for getting an apprenticeship. I just finished my first ever apprenticeship at Florida Studio Theater in Sarasota, Florida. I was an acting apprentice there, and the first tip that I have regarding getting an apprenticeship would be planning. One thing that really helped me when I was looking through apprenticeship options and internships and audition seasons was I started a spreadsheet the summer before my senior year of college, and I researched Shakespeare apprenticeship companies, intern companies, summer season stock auditions, theater conference auditions like SETC, NETC, things like that. And I made a giant spreadsheet of all of the information, locations, due dates, requirements for the auditions, and I just kind of organized all of my information that way so that I had all of the information that I needed at my fingertips, and that made it really easy to keep track of deadlines and what materials I needed and little synopsis of each different program so that I could understand the program that I was going into or auditioning for. So my first tip would definitely be planning. I still update that spreadsheet every single time I find a new company or a different audition program, things like that. And it was super helpful. And then my second tip would definitely be to do your research on the programs that you are interested in. I personally got my internship/apprenticeship through auditioning at SETC, and I had a couple of different apprenticeship interests in my field of vision, and what helped me the most was researching what the apprenticeship would entail, things like whether or not they included housing, whether or not they paid for your room and board, whether or not you needed to have a second job in order to sustain yourself, things like that. Helped narrow my search down a whole lot because I wanted to focus primarily on my apprenticeship and not get an outside job, personally for me. And so I was able to hone in my focus on apprenticeships that offer housing and full-time positions and things like that. I also researched what kind of work and seasons that the theater companies would usually produce. That way I could kind of understand what I was getting myself into, and it gave me a lot of insight onto what kind of companies I was interested in working with and helped me focus more on my interests as an artist. And so it made my decision-making process a little bit easier because I had more of a well-rounded understanding of each company that I was auditioning and interviewing with. So yeah, those are my top 2 tips for getting an apprenticeship. It would be planning ahead and researching, and yeah, so I'd be happy to answer any questions or share the audition spreadsheet that I have created. So if anyone has any other questions or would like the information that I've gathered so far, feel free to message me, and I'm happy to chat about anything. All right, happy Tuesday. Stay safe.
Hi everyone, my name is Sofia and I graduated in May of 2018 from Belmont with my BFA in theater performance. And Rachel and Madison asked me to talk about 2 tips that I have for landing an apprenticeship, and I'm happy to share that. I went to Riverside Theater, which is in Vero Beach, Florida, May 2018. And I was there through August 2019, so a little bit over a year. I put on my jacket because I haven't worn it in a bit, and I was feeling nostalgic, so yay for swag. But yeah, no, I got that job through the Southeastern Theater Conference, SETC, and it was I felt totally blindsided. Can't really tell you what I did in my audition that helped me land the job, but something caught my boss's attention, and that was great. So all of it kind of came into fruition during my callback. It was actually more of an interview for me. I didn't have to sing or dance or do a monologue again, but he just kind of asked me about my experience, and I'll say the 2 things that I think really helped me was, 1, the fact that I had theater for young audience experience. I was really blessed to be a part of RepCo when I was at Belmont my senior year, and I've worked with kids a lot with babysitting and things like that, and I definitely think a lot of apprenticeships come hand in hand with theater for young audiences. So definitely make sure that you have some experience with children's theater, or at least children, whether that's RepCo or volunteering at a school to help them put on their production, or helping with children's theater, things like that. Just any experience where you can have some sort of interaction with children and the arts, whether it doesn't have to be theater, if it's music or arts and crafts, things like that, just something so that whoever is looking to hire you knows that you have worked with children before, and been able to keep their attention and help them be creative, because a lot of times apprenticeships are linked with some sort of children's theater. My second tip is to bring other things that you have to offer to the table that aren't theater related. So I was really involved at Belmont. I was a Bruin recruiter. I was a tour guide, a welcome desk worker for the Office of Admissions. I was in a sorority, things like that. It shows your bosses that you are really aware of time management and scheduling, and you're organized. And it's really chaotic being an apprentice. You kind of are just like, at least my experience was that I was there for whatever the theater needed. So while my main job was working in the children's theater, I helped with strike of main stage shows, and I did a lot of other things that were like front of house and all these different aspects of theater. And that was a great opportunity for me because I learned a lot about myself and about my coworkers and how a professional equity theater functions. And I think that my boss in our interview knew that I could handle those sorts of projects because I was really involved at school. So definitely don't be afraid to talk about things that aren't theater related. They want to hear that you're a well-rounded professional and that you are willing to work hard, because it's definitely a lot of work for not always an appropriate amount of compensation. But I mean, that's the life, and I wouldn't have traded my experience for the world. So I'm really glad I had that opportunity. And if that's something that you guys are looking for, I wish you the best of luck, because it was really a magical experience and totally worth it. So thanks, guys.
Hi, my name is Alex Drennan. I am a recent graduate of Belmont University's Theater and Dance Program. I graduated in May 2019 with my degree, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater Performance. And I'm currently a playwriting fellow with Florida Studio Theater in Sarasota, Florida. Madison Bailey and Rachel Mackall have asked me to compile a short list of tips on how to get an apprenticeship and internship in the theatrical world post-college. And so the first tip that I have that I found really useful is research, research, research. I know it sounds cliche. I know it sounds like, of course we're going to research. That's a given. Why would you even feel the need to talk about that? But I think what research does, at least what I found really, really helpful with research, is it helps hone your plan of study in a way that best exemplifies what you want to do as a budding artist. I think that through your research of whether you know, locations or where you want to end up or what you want to do, I think researching all aspects really, really helped finalize the kind of path that I wanted to go on, as well as the kind of artist that I want to be, as well as the kind of people that you want to work with, the company that you want to, you could see yourself thriving in, the kind of people that you want to surround yourself, which is so important after college, surrounding yourself with good people with like-minded ideas, and who want to see you succeed and who want to help and who want to help hone and harvest and cultivate your creative potential, which kind of leads into my second tip, which is don't be afraid to go out of the norm. I graduated with a BFA in theater performance, but I found myself at the end of college not really wanting to go into performance. I found myself within the first couple months of working at Florida Studio Theater, I found myself not really connecting with that aspect as much as I thought I would, or as much as I used to. So I kind of wanted to see what else was out there. I wanted to see what else spoke to me as an artist. I wanted to see what I wanted to explore and what kind of environment I wanted to allow myself to try and possibly fail in. I think that's really, really important, is not being afraid to go out of whatever path that you have just because of your degree or just because of what you did in college or high school or anything like that. I think in order to be a well-rounded artist and a well-rounded theater maker and storyteller and creator, I think you have to be knowledgeable about every single aspect, from not only how text works as an actor, but also how the lights work, how the sound works, how the development of new plays happens, how developing a play works in a greater theatrical context from a company's point of view as well as a personal point of view. Which leads directly to my third point, which is market yourself in all aspects. Again, as I said, I graduated with a theater performance degree, but I find myself going down the path of literary manager and playwright. I've had a couple of my plays produced in Middle Tennessee in the Nashville area. I submitted one of my plays for an international playwriting award competition where I was one of the top 10 finalists across the globe. And so marketing yourself in all aspects really, really helps solidify the companies that want to work with someone who's not just one thing. I think if you market yourself as I'm just an actor, or I'm just a designer, or I'm just a choreographer, or whatever you may market yourself as, I think you have to, I think that hurts more than it helps. You have to be able to learn, you have to be able to grow, not only in your profession, but in the greater theatrical context of production. A lot of people, when I went to SATC this year for the job fair, when I mentioned the fact that Belmont has a program called Lab, where you have to put 25 to 30 hours of work into each production in either set, costume, lights, sound, props, set dressing, that kind of stuff. Every single interview that I went on, I mentioned that, and every single second round of interviews that I went on, the first question out of their mouth was, tell me about Lab. How did that impact you as a creative person? And even if you think that putting something that is completely different than what you are pursuing on your resume, even if you think that, well, I want to be an actor or an actress, but I don't want to put the fact that I did marketing for so many months for the summer, or for whatever reason, or whatever kind of thing, even if it doesn't relate to theater, that's going to help you look more marketable, and that's going to help you and help companies really find you and really seek you out. And I mean, it shows that you don't just care about the product, you care about the journey. Which again sounds cliche, but it's not that you care about, it's not that you care about that opening night, it's that you care about the way that you got to opening night. It's that you care about the production, you care about the art of it, and you care about the storytelling, which I think is really, really important to remember, and really, really important to market yourself in all aspects. So those are my top 3 tips that I have for finding an apprenticeship and internship. Those really helped me in finding what path I wanted to go down, what I wanted to do, and how I want to market myself, and how I want to cultivate my artistic expression in. So thank you to Madison Bailey and Rachel Mackall for asking me to do this, as well as thank you for Uprooted Theatrical Studios. I think what you guys do is really, really beautiful. It's a really fantastic platform for artists to converse and speak and meet together and talk, as well as just showcase what we're all capable of, which is telling great stories and knowledge and learning and education, and trying to be creative in a time of real uncertainty. So thank you guys for that. Everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and if you ever need anything, please reach out. Again, my name is Alex Drennan, and I am honored to be able to do this today.